Hi there, everybody. I want to talk a little bit today about the equipment that I use. I've been asked several times about it, so I finally got a moment to talk about it. So let's start off. Let's talk about my fishing rod. The rod of choice has always been B&M for me, way before they ever sponsored me. I've got some old relics in here of B&Ms that I still use today. But let's talk about my spider rigging pole of choice. It's the B&M Pro Staff trolling rod. I got my 16-footer right here. As you can see, my boat's 20 foot long. The pole's dang near as long as it. But I prefer the Pro Staff trolling rod. I don't know if you can see them numbers there. It's the PST 163. It's the 1.6 means 16 foot, the 3 means a 3-piece rod. Okay, a little bit about the rod. It's got a great backbone. I love the backbone in this rod simply because when I hook a fish, I need to keep that fish out of my other rods. And if you got a wimpy rod, you're never going to control that fish. I love to have that fish under control all the time. The tip in these rods is ultra sensitive, so you can detect the lightest of light bites, okay? So I know Christmas is coming, so we need to get out there and buy our loved ones some good rods. And I would highly suggest, a Pro Staff trolling rod. All right, let's move on. My rod of choice when it comes to vertical jigging, again, B&M. As you can see, folks, I protect all my rods with the rod socks. Look at how easy that rod sock comes off of there. All you gotta do is just push it right off. I like to protect them simply because going down a highway, they're banging together and stuff like that. You gotta protect your investments, okay? I've got two old B&Ms here. They're 11-foot SAM, super sensitive. I use this rod for my vertical jigging. I've caught a ton of fish using these rods right here. I've got another one up there too, hanging up, but all you need is two because I only have two hands, right? Move on now. For casting, I love the Crappie Wizards. You know, they're 7.5 foot rods. Allows you to set that depth a little bit deeper. Let's get this rod sock off of here. Rod socks, they're an amazing product, man. I love these rod socks. You need to hit up Ann Parker from Rod Socks and get yourself some. As you can see, I had these things set up. I was up in Minnesota this year doing some bluegill fishing with my dad. Still set up. Here it is, you know, the end of November. Obviously, you can tell I haven't used these rods since June. But I love these rods when it comes to casting. I'm going to be doing a lot of casting here shortly, so I need to get these things set up to do a little crappie fishing, put some jigs on them. And great rod. That 7.5 foot is going to allow you to get out to a little bit farther in distance. Good backbone on these rods. I know that these rods have won a Crappie USA Classic on Lake Cumberland. David Jones, congratulations again. My next favorite casting rod is a Buck's Crappie spinning rod. This is 6.5 footer. I use this rod just as much, if not more, than my 7.5 footers. You know, that's personal preference. You know, I love this rod too. As you can see, I've got it set up this time of year. If you're shooting docks, water temp right now is about 43 degrees. Shoot docks, sometimes you really need to slow that presentation down. I have found that this 6.5 footer, I can actually shoot this bobber, this little cork, little ice fishing cork. I can shoot that thing, skip it up under a dock, and really slow down the presentation with my jig. That's why I have this one set up right now for crappie fishing versus my 7.5 foot Crappie Wizards. Now, dock shooting. As you can see, I've got 3 dock shooters in one of my rod socks. And these things are so simple. All you gotta do is push down on the right there. Look how easy that is. Slides right off, you know. Again, you gotta protect your investments. I've got 3 different things set up here. This one here, I was shooting up under docks. I used the dock tar from Bobby Garland. Love that. I got a 24th ounce jig head on there from Crappie. Great jigs. Then my next one is my Crappie Magnet. That right there quickly become my favorite jig. That black and chartreuse with the 24th ounce jig head once again from Crappie. And then I've been doing a little bit of vertical jigging. This sharpshooter from B&M is an amazing rod. I love dropping that spoon down there and vertical jigging that spoon. Catch the heck out of perch, catch a lot of crappies this time of year on that, because them shad, as they're dying off, them crappies are down there feeding on them just like the perch are. All my rods, all 3 of these have got the 4-pound test slime line. That line has become my favorite line. The last 2 years we've been using it. This lighter line was introduced this year, mostly because some of us guys was really pressuring them to come out with a little bit lighter line. So thank you, Caleb Page, for doing that. Really appreciate it. All my rods have got slime line. This is 10-pound test. My casting rods, I've got the 6-pound test. My vertical jigging, I've got the 6-pound clear on one line, on one rod, and I've got the 10-pound high vis on the other rod. Crappies are not line shy. I put on that clear when we went and fished a really clear water lake. We were catching some bluegill and things like that. So I don't know if the high vis would have affected them or not, but it's just one of the mind things. So right now I'm going to move the camera, get in here a little closer on my boat, and I'm going to go over some jigs with you. Okay, before we move on to my jigs and stuff like that, I need to talk to you about the Ego S2 slider. This net right here is an amazing tool to have on your boat, whether you're crappie fishing, cat fishing, walleye fishing, what have you. It's got a screw-on head. You can switch it out real quick. They've got a couple different sizes. I've got this size, and I've got one size that I use for my big catfish. This is a great walleye net right here. As you can see, the material they use in there, a hook won't get snagged up in it. But the greatest thing about this right here is this handle, okay? This handle has rescued, let's say, several fish that have come off right at the surface of the water. You simply push that button right there, grab the handle here, you push just like that. That thing shoots out there so fast. As fast as you can pull it out, that's how fast it'll come out. So, it's a great tool to have. This one here is a couple years old, and I've got one of the very first ones. Met Grant Corbin many years ago, a Crappie USA Classic down on Pickwick Lake. That was when he introduced this, and I've had this handle right here that whole time. And look at that, it still works today. I was a licensed guide for 4 years. This net handle has been in and out, I don't know how many thousands of times. I still use it today. I've got a new one for backup, but thankfully I haven't had to use it. This one still keeps going, so don't worry about the durability, folks. Alright everybody, I just got done talking about my great B&M rods. It's Christmas time. I know that them things are on everybody's wish list, okay? Make sure you fill them stockings with some great products this year from B&M. Another great product I talked about was Ego Nets. They've got a 25% off right now. So don't miss out on an opportunity to buy a great product there. So now let's talk about my jigs. I just pulled out my dock shooting box here. You know, these are just a few baits that I take when I go with some friends and stuff. I just grab a small box real fast. But this is the box of choice. I got my Lake Fork Baby Shad in here. I've got Bobby Garland Doctor. What quickly become my favorite bait was this crappie magnet. The black and chartreuse crappie magnet has been fantastic for me. Another little trick when it comes to putting these baits on your hook, okay? It's got a split tail. You're gonna take that hook, you're gonna run that hook right down through the middle of that tail, okay? Don't get it off to the side or anything. You want your bait to look as real as it possibly can under that water, okay? You want that thing to lay out just like that. That's a good looking bait right there. You want to make sure every time you put your baits on, you put them on right. You don't want it all turned sideways looking like that, and fish aren't going to hit that. So pay close attention to the small details and you'll catch more fish. I promise you that, okay? Another little thing that I do, if I'm shooting docks, I'll put a little super glue on it, okay? All it takes is just a little drop right up here by the head. Shove that jig on there. Try not to touch with your fingers because your fingers will stick to your jig. So shove it on there, give it a couple seconds, dip it in the water, you're good to go, okay? I hope this helps some folks out there. Got any questions, hit me up through Facebook, my YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter. Thank you, and have a very Merry Christmas.